Jesus more.
Jesus' words to the people and the crowd who have been given the freedom to be able to judge him after he had cast out the demon. So those who were amazed, they judged him by being amazed and saying, "This is a wonderful person." Others wanted a sign and they wanted more and more from him. "Lord, can you give us a sign from heaven?" Even after he had given them a sign of delivering this person who had a mute demon. And then others said, "You are Beelzebub." The first response that Jesus gives, especially to the last group that said he had cast out demons by being a demon himself, through the power of Beelzebub, is that a kingdom that is divided against itself can never stand. And that brings us to the first thing that I want to talk about, the unity of the church. Because when they talk about it, when Jesus talks about division that can make no kingdom or no family or no institution to stand if it is divided, is that the church has stood from of old. Even in the creed we say, one holy and apostolic church. The church that has been there from the beginning, and it is there for the side because it was always united. Right from the time of the apostles, they met in the book of Acts of the Apostles, chapter 20, we hear that they met together for the breaking of the bread. And this tradition has been carried out right to this moment. 2,000 years after, we still meet for the breaking of the bread. That tells us the strength of our church. We are not just a church, but a body of Christ. So it's very amazing that especially when I used to be working in the most remote part of Kenya, at the coast there, we would go to a place for Mass, and you will read the reading on the Sunday. Just 2-3 people, and they are all people come. There are no seats in church, and we just stand and say Mass. But you realize that the same reading that we are reading, even in the remotest village like that, is the same reading that they are going to read in the church at St. Peter's Basilica in Rome. The same reading that is read in the Philippines today is the same reading that is read in the United States. It tells us how united we are. And it is not by any power or any strength, but because the Spirit which binds people together, the Spirit that bounded the apostles together. We hear that in Acts of the Apostles chapter 2, that they were gathered in one place, in one accord, when they awaited the Spirit. So the Spirit is the source of this unity. The Spirit is the source of oneness. Therefore, when Jesus talks about this, he's affirming again the fact that the unity of the church that has stood from the beginning of time. The second thing that I wanted to share today is about what he says. The devil cannot be divided against himself. And it goes with what the prophet Jeremiah has already talked about in the first reading, that these people right from the beginning have always been opposing me. But God is always reaching out, even to the sons and daughters who are against him. He's always reaching out to them. He says, they have turned their backs to me, not their faces. They have turned their backs to me, not their faces. What does that mean? I just give an example now. In our different cultures, not only here in the Philippines, also in Africa, this is an unfortunate practice that we do, most especially when we go through difficulties. Once we suspect that there is something that is happening to us that has been done by another person, what do? The first thing is to go to the witch doctors. In every place, most of the places, in Africa it happens like that as well. But I know also here in the Philippines we do that. That people believe that they can serve God, but at the same time, they can seek the services of the devil. Because witch doctors, I'm not talking about herbalists. Herbalists are different. People who have been gifted to mix some herbs and help people to cure diseases. That is a gift, okay? But we are talking about People who, because of the situation in which we find ourselves, go to the witch doctors. I'm talking of those people who would tell you that somebody in your family is doing this, and then you have to take some things, take some medicine, or he cuts your body, or uses blood or something, and tells you that that is where the solution lies. Again, this is what Jesus says. The devil himself cannot fight himself. Darkness can never fight darkness. And we find that most especially with our own people, our own Christians. That is true, we want to stay in church, and that's why Jesus says, they have turned their backs up from me, not their faces. Their faces are still with me, but their backs are turned away from me. When we begin to choose other things other than God, and that is another form of idolatry, that we are beginning to worship other things rather than God. Okay, we come for Mass, but when it comes to the real issues in our families, when it comes to the real experience of life, of what we are going through, what do? We turn to other powers. And this is a very dangerous place to be. Jesus says that whoever is against me, whoever is with me, whoever is not with me is against me, and whoever does not gather with me scatters. So we must realize, and it is most of the time is because maybe we doubt God, maybe we do not really. He would do it, but we want to do it that's it. We want to do it as fast as possible. We want the solution now and now. We don't want to be patient with God. And that is why we begin to choose other things. Let us remember, the devil cannot fight against himself. Darkness cannot fight darkness. It is only when you switch on the lights, then darkness is going to disappear from the room. But if we say, okay, we are going to fight darkness with darkness, it's never going to work. And we have to be conscious about that our prayers, especially when those situations come up, are very, very important. There is a moment that we have to get more and more closer to God and not departing from Him. My dear friends, as we continue to approach the celebration of Easter, let us realize that Jesus, through His death and resurrection, has conquered everything. He has conquered sin, He has conquered death, He has conquered the powers of darkness. And let us continue to trust in Him.
Kiss us, mother, kiss your children. Bring God's blessings from above. With your mantle blue enfold us in your gentle holy love. See the darkness dissipating, hear the trumpet echoing, Satan's rage